Oh shit!
It's
Oh
four.
shit!
It's that time, man. It's
Hold up.
420 on
On
420.
420.
It's 420 on 420. It only comes twice a year. I was just told.
Yep, and just informed.
I was just informed about this.
It only comes twice a year, so let's take advantage of it.
Let's do it. Happy 420, everybody. I hope everybody's been having a good one.
Having a great day. I know I'm having a great day.
Well, in the words of you know, one of the godfathers of weed, I feel like Ice Cube. Today was a good day.
Hold on, I gotta turn that down. My bad. I'm trying to
Oh,
share
you're all
the
good.
trying to share the stream. Let's get the
You're
people
all
in here.
good. It's the 420 Bonanza. It's a bonanza because it's an all day thing. We released the mixtape this morning, Chase Shep's 420 special, with some luscious visuals for you to dive into, get a little high tonight, throw it on, and just vibe, man. Just chill to it.
It's pretty dope.
You
It's
can
pretty
download
good.
it for free if you're digging it. You want to listen to it in the car, share it with people, all that good stuff, all that good stuff. But now it's 4:20 o'clock, and we're gonna talk the best stoner movies, our favorite stoner movies, and
Favorite.
TV shows, man.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm glad you said something on your way out when you said I want to talk TV shows too, because I started thinking about it. There's definitely quite a few that I could think of that are favorites.
Sorry, my phone wasn't on silent. That's like a first that I didn't have my phone actually on silent. I blame it on the smoke.
Blame it on the smoke.
Blame it on the smoke. There we go. ChaseandShep.com. You can find
ChaseandShep.com
420 special all day long.
all day
It's
long,
up on
baby.
there. It's up on there.
All day long.
That is your hub for everything Chase and Shep.
Here we go. Right. We're, it's 420. We've been slaving away. Jeez.
We've been working hard on today, and we've also been celebrating today. So
We have been, as much as we can between, working on
this and
all of
that,
this stuff. But
this and that.
let's get into it because, we only got 20 minutes, 18 at this point. So,
So
stoner movies, man.
what's one of your first favorite ones?
First favorite ones. Well, I think, honestly, we just got to get straight to the meat of it. I'd be nothing without these guys.
Yes.
Harold and Kumar. Harold and Kumar, the trilogy, man, all three of them. If I absolutely had to pick a favorite, I think I'd say the Christmas one. I think the Christmas one is my favorite of the
Okay.
three. But the other two are they're classics, man. Like Phil and I, our whole friendship, like a lot of that was just built off of watching these movies together. Uh, and that's, the whole Phil and Chase thing. I don't think there'd be the Phil and Chase thing if there was never the Harold and Kumar. And I think
Yeah.
that's always happened. There'd be no Cheech and Chong, or there'd be no Harold and Kumar if there's no Cheech and Chong, and et cetera, et cetera. Like, uh, and of course, to just transition, there also wouldn't be Jay and Silent Bob. I only
Right.
have the newest one. I only have Reboot here, but honestly, anything with Jay and Silent Bob, you know, anything with Seth Rogen is
Right.
usually a good choice. Uh, Oddly enough, there's actually quite a few good stoner Christmas picks. Now that I'm thinking about it, between the Harold and
Yeah.
Kumar one and the Night Before, those are definitely two of my favorite stoner movies and two of my favorite Christmas movies. So
Fair, fair. Now Harold and Kumar, always one of my favorites. The first one, definitely had a good spot on my life. I was stoned to the bone when I went and seen that shit in theaters, and lost my shit. Uh, Specifically, and I still to this day randomly think of the scene when they're driving in the car. It's towards the end, and it comes back to them, and it's playing that song that's like, "Someday somebody's gonna make you want to turn around, say goodbye." And he's
yeah,
like, "You can change it," and he's like, "Nah, I'm good. You can
no,
change it."
I'm good.
And then it just cuts back to them both just do,
Dun.
and just getting it. And I crack that up. That cracks me up. But in the end of it, when they hit Amsterdam and it plays "Heaven Is a Place on Earth,"
Uh-oh. It's stoner bashing time.
stoner bashing time. Hey, yeah, that was a funny line from that one.
Yeah. uh Man, classic stoner move. losing that good old train of thought.
Talking stoner bashing time. One of my favorite ones was Dazed and Confused growing up.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely,
That was a
absolutely.
big one that like played a role into my life, man. I seen that life, and of course, that's what led to all of us being like, "Oh, I was born in the wrong era" and shit like that.
All right, all right, all right. And I
Yeah,
think I was it you I told the other day that there was like a sort of sequel to that.
yeah. I didn't even know.
Everybody wants some, and honestly, I'd put that on my stoner list too.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed that one. Wyatt Russell's in it, who's killing it on Falcon and Winter Soldier right now. Uh, it's a good one. It's a good
I
one.
have never really seen that one.
Harold and Kumar, going back to that, what's interesting is you said, the first time you saw that first one, I loved stoner movies way before I ever even smoked weed.
Oh,
Way before I smoked weed. And so I don't even think, I think all three of them came out before I ever started smoking weed. And I think I actually watched them high for the first time, I think last 420. Like this past year, I think Phil and I did it. And I was like, no shit. I think this is my first time watching.
I guess as a kid, I seen most of them in theaters, like the big ones that I could think of.
I saw the
Um,
third one in theaters.
well, like I mean, just like any like most of the core ones that I'm still like Jane Silent Bob,
Oh, right, right.
Strike Back, that one or whatever. That was, I
That was
smoked and went and seen
a
that in
classic,
theaters.
yeah.
A lot of those comedies that I still think are like gold and like haven't been duplicated type shit, like Old School, like,
Yeah,
but that
yeah.
kind of I'll never forget that one because I went to a sneak preview and I laughed at a part nobody laughed at in the entire theater, sold out, and I snorted. I was like,
That's funny. What part?
um, when after Blue dies,
Yeah.
and Will Ferrell's talking to his ex-wife at that moment, and it's like a shot of him like right up in his face, and he's like, "You just you just keep on trucking." I don't know why, but that just made me lose it. Him doing that and just the shot of all him looking so sad. And he like I think he like nudges her and he says it. And
That's
I
funny.
just lost it and nobody else did. And I chuckled like and I snorted. I went and then the entire audience laughed at my snort. And I was like,
You
I'm
know, uh, what's one I think flies under the radar these days,
hmm.
and we revisited this one last year too. Uh, Dude, where's my car?
No, yeah, that's a
Where's my
great one.
car, dude?
Yeah.
You want to talk about just like your quintessential pothead movie? I mean, just like there's I don't know, like as far as stoner plot lines go, yeah, like that dude, where's my car feels to me like shit that's on the Taco Bell menu. Like, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Like somebody who's sitting around and it's like, yeah, it'd be a good idea, and then you get something like
Sultan.
that.
I love
This one
that
I
movie.
got laying here. It's just a classic. I actually meant to watch this last night, seeing as I sampled it for the intro track on the mixtape. I still haven't even watched it.
Reefer Madness.
And of course, the last one I have here is, I think we can both agree, uh, is a classic. Pineapple Express.
Pineapple Express, definitely. That's what that one I never watched. Okay, so that was an interesting one for me. I was in the Navy when that one came out, and I wasn't smoking weed. And I knew that whole movie was about smoking weed. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna watch it. And people were like, why? It's so funny. And I was like, not until I can smoke. I want to smoke and watch that one. So I did.
Fair
I
enough.
waited. I waited until that moment and it was worth it.
One I did not grab that might be the most important of all. I have to get it. This movie changed my life, I mean, we wouldn't even be sitting here right now. Who knows how many different routes my life would have taken had I never seen this movie. It was the first R-rated movie I was ever allowed to own. I remember I actually got it for Easter. It was an Easter present of mine. Uh, and it made me want to be a movie director. Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny. It was my destiny to find this movie. You want to talk about a good old stoner movie. And I totally remembered my friend Tabitha uh, put on Snapchat the other night. She was watching it, and the part where he takes the mushrooms, and
Yeah.
see Sasquatch and all that stuff. I mean, oh my god, the whole
Juice.
movie is just juicy.
My favorite Jack
Love
Black
it.
movie is an offbeat one, I think. I think it was Orange County.
Orange County. I knew you were gonna say that.
That
It's a
another
good one.
stoner one. Yeah, no, I just
Yeah.
like that part. Is like, "You wanna get high and get naked and start the revolution?" And she's like, "Yeah." You know?
Yeah.
Alright, you
Yeah.
know, it's like Jack Black, and it's only for Jack Black's parts in that movie. Like, the rest of it, yeah, it's alright, but it wasn't funny. But Jack Black in particular, anytime he was on screen was golden.
He was really good in that movie. I do remember that much. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I do remember that. Um,
Um, Evil Bong's gotta be on there, man. That's gotta be on the list. I know we wanna
I still haven't seen Evil Bong.
I seen it a long time ago, but from what I could remember, it was very cheesy, very corny, um, stupid,
Yeah.
nonetheless. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny.
Well,
Um,
and there's a ton of them. I do know that. There's even the Evil Bong versus Ginger Dead Man.
yeah,
You
one
know,
of my
so
and then again, one of my personal favorites, childhood favorites. I wouldn't really. I don't know. I'm gonna call this one a stoner movie for sure, and that's
okay.
Bill and Ted.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
all of them. I even like the third one.
Hmm.
Fucking muchos respect to it. I like what they did with that one, but especially the first two though, man.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Uh,
I enjoyed all of them too. Yeah.
but I always find myself on 420 more drawn to watching my favorite TV shows, and like we were saying, I was telling you that when I popped out, and I was actually watching one that's just essential to watch if you're into this kind of shit on 420, and that's the Lucas Brothers Moving Company, their 420 episode. Love that shit. And I mean, I love that whole series because the ties to wrestling and stuff that they always have, and Jake the Snake's on there and shit. When I stumbled upon that on pure accident, just like bored trying to find something, and
I
I was
actually
like, thank God.
the Lucas Brothers and like that whole block of content that it came from, like with Major Lazer and like just all sorts of just crazy animated shows. I went down a rabbit hole of just watching those for a while because those are all just like Axe Cop. You want to talk about a great stoner show to watch? Axe Cop. It's literally written by a child, and everything they say in the show is like the dialogue of a child, but they do it like so serious. Like Nick Offerman does the voice of Axe Cop, and he's it's hilarious, dude. His sidekick is Flute Cop. Like it's literally something written by like a 6-year-old kid. It's like hyper violent. It's like only a 6-year-old boy could come up with something like that, or someone high as hell, which was probably the older brother who's like, I'm gonna do something with
I'm gonna
this.
use this. I also love watching the Workaholics 420
Yep.
episode. Is another one that's in one of my keys, one of my favorite ones to watch on this day.
I think one of my favorites from Comedy Central, I think it's like the first or second episode of Broad City. It's called Pussy Weed. Now that is just a classic. It's a
Yeah,
classic.
I never watched that show.
That's a good one. It's a great stoner show.
Um, oh, hold up, going back to the movies. Boom, we'll bounce all around here. Trailer Park Boys. I was
That's
thinking
right.
about TV anyway, but their third movie in particular was one of my favorite ones. Like stoner movie wise, because the whole premise of it to me was funny. Is I don't know if you ever watched it, but this guy Ricky, it's like
Hmm.
Canada announces we're legalizing weed, and Ricky's sold weed his whole life and shit, and that's how he makes money and stuff. And he realizes like, oh, I'm out of fucking business now. So he's going to Parliament to tell them to keep it illegal and shit. He's trying to tell them, no, don't legalize. So that's like it came out as like Trailer Park Boys legalize it, but then a big red don't in front of it. Like his whole
Nice.
thing is like, don't legalize it. And it's funny shit, with the Trailer Park Boys, especially with the TV show in particular. I mean, you want to get into the Snoop Dogg seasons to just get into the season of 420, but like you can essentially watch that entire like series
Yeah.
if you wanted to watch any
I
sort
feel
of.
like that's how a lot of these shows that we've just talked about are. Like I feel like a lot of these are just good stoner shows, like through and through.
Yeah, oh yeah, Workaholics for sure, but like in
Mhm.
particular, their specific 420 episode, like
Oh
what is it?
yeah.
Chill Captain Demand.
The one movie that I have to mention, it's the one I sampled on the mixtape as well, Strange Wilderness. So this movie came out in 2007, and it has a 2% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm pretty sure that Phil and I are those 2%. I think we're 1 and 2%. We are probably the biggest fans of that movie on the face of the planet. We were talking about it earlier today. I think it's one of the funniest fucking movies ever made. And it's got Justin Long, Jonah Hill, Steve Zahn, like all of these super funny people. It's produced by like Happy Madison, and people just hated it. I'm like, I mean, it's stupid, but god damn it, is it funny? Like, I've been quoting that movie for fucking like 15 years, man.
Well, I mean, like, and we haven't even gotten to the classics of like Black Sheep, Tommy Boy.
Hmm.
I mean, Billy Madison,
Oh yeah.
Happy Gilmore.
Oh,
Even
there's definitely, with 20 minutes, there's definitely a lot that's gonna not hit the list today that we're not gonna get to.
I'm still gonna. I think I'm just gonna keep rattling them off when
We're
I'm
just
giving
gonna
them all
list
shout
now.
outs now.
We're just gonna
We're
run it like credits
Yeah,
along
we're
the.
we're like the 4-minute mark, so now we got to start blasting these ones out as I can think of them. Jesus Christ, now I can't think of any.
I know. I hit a wall earlier. You left, and I'm like, what's a stoner movie? Like I can't even think of any right now. Yeah.
Ted, I'm wearing the fucking
Ted.
get up,
Yeah,
and
that's
we
right.
haven't even mentioned Ted yet. That's a
Ted.
funny one.
Well,
Who
we could
put a shit
also,
on the floor?
we talked about beforehand the movies that are classics because they're just classic. Like, get stoned and watch these movies. Uh, I know a couple for me that I was gonna pick out. Across the Universe. That's a good one. It's like a Beatles musical. It's super trippy. It's awesome. I've always dug that one a lot. But for me, again, this is a Phil couldn't be with us today for the show, so I'm just gonna be speaking on his behalf because we grew up on all this shit. Um, but the Cat in the Hat, dude, with Mike Myers. I mean, that thing. I'm determined to make that a cult classic. Like, it's hilarious. Like, especially if you get high and just like are ripping on this movie, just tearing it apart and just being like, oh my god, like, dude, it's hilarious. There's no two
I
ways about it. It's a funny movie.
I mean,
Is
you
it
can.
good? Is it like Oscar gold? No, 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 no. It's not.
I mean, I'd rather watch like the Brave Little Toaster or something like that myself.
Yo, I can. I think we could just put like the entirety of Disney Plus over here. Like, that's like a good like default
Yeah.
lately. I think Disney Plus. That's a good, like, when the Marvel stuff isn't around. I don't use it as much. Uh, but sometimes you find yourself a little stoned and you're like, you know what? I could go for a Pixar. I could go for like an old school like Brave
We
Little
could go for
Toaster
some
or
Lionheart or Lion King. Lionheart.
yeah, yeah.
Shout outs to Chris Jericho, the Lionheart.
There you
My
go.
bad.
There you go. I could do for some Lion King, a little Toy Story. Be moved up, just have a good cry.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good ones, man. Super bad. We can still
Super bad. Yeah,
Waiting. That was one that I loved.
Waiting's Waiting's a movie that as I've gotten older I have enjoyed more and more because the more positions I worked in a restaurant, the more I really connected with that movie and understood more characters in that movie, and I'm like, this is the film for this industry for
I'm
sure.
pretty sure by the time that movie came out, I had worked in like I was working at Ruby Tuesdays or had just worked there.
Mhm.
And so it was, yeah, I was like, oh hey, this is spot on the nose.
Spot on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spot on the nose. That's how it was. But that, is funny. That's a really funny movie.
Well,
I don't know about any of the recent ones.
I don't know. I can't really think of anything like super recent. I know we're gonna be like laying in bed later, like fuck, like if we think of anything between now and the 10 o'clock stream, we'll let you
Short
know.
Circuit's funny to watch if you
Short
smoke, I
Circuit.
guess.
That's what we're gonna end on. We're gonna end on Short Circuit.
Johnny
We can't we
Five.
can't do better than Short Circuit. God damn it.
Beetlejuice is good.
I guess. Now we're just sputtering out.
I
Super
just
Troopers? Super Troopers.
Super Troopers. There we go.
Super
Why
Troopers.
didn't
Hey,
we
Super
see that?
Troopers, there you go. 420 stoner movies of choice from your boys Chase and Shep. We'll see you for the Chase and Shep sketch show, the 420 edition at
At like
7:10.
7:10. So like
7:10. Peace.
2.5 hours. Smooches.